Alright, let's talk about it. 8K Blu-rays. Should we be expecting them? Will it be an actual thing? Will it not be? Are there pros? Are there cons? Is it even worth it? Let's get into it. Alright, what is up everybody? I made a recent poll on the channel asking you guys, do you guys think that 8K Blu-ray will even be a thing? And I finally will now look at the poll and see how many of you guys think that 8K will be an actual format. So about 18% of you guys said yes, and 82% of you guys said no. A lot of people said if it makes money, then yes. In some countries, I would say yes. Japan might be the first to try the market. People saying they hope not. People saying it wouldn't sell. So let's talk about it. I did a little bit of research, looked at a bit of the market census behind these things, and let's get into it. The Blu-ray format made its debut in 2006, revolutionizing home entertainment by offering this leap in visual and audio quality. Guys, remember how everyone was so hyped about high definition and HD quality, especially over its predecessor, the DVD.
Realize how far you can go beyond DVD.
A decade later, in 2016, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray was introduced, further enhancing the viewing experience with increased resolution, high dynamic range, and Dolby Vision, all these sorts of enhanced capability. Not to mention the superior audio format of Dolby Atmos. Now, given this historical pattern of technological advancements and format evolution, it's reasonable to consider that whether an 8K Blu-ray could follow anytime soon. And in the year 2025, the possibility of an 8K Blu-ray format becomes an intriguing prospect. The advancements in optical storage, video compression abilities, and display technology all suggest that physical media could continue evolving to meet the demands of ultra-high resolution content. With the increasing availability of 8K televisions and content being filmed in 8K, the improvements in disk capacity of an 8K Blu-ray format would align with the natural progression of home entertainment standards. However, while technologically it could be feasible, it's a big key factor, but another big key factor would be the market trends and consumer adoption. The transition from standard Blu-ray to 4K Blu-ray honestly has not been as widespread as some would like to believe and as would be expected, largely due to the rise of, again, digital streaming platforms offering high quality content with convenience. This raises the questions about whether or not there is a sufficient demand to even justify the development of an 8K Blu-ray format. Could you imagine there being DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K and 8K all sharing the same shelves? That'd be a lot of space dedicated to just physical media, when in fact a lot of retail stores are trying to get rid of their physical media sections. So today we're going to be talking about both the pros and the cons, why I would think the 8K Blu-ray would even be a possibility, and why I think it won't even, we won't even see anything coming out of it. So let's get into it. Number one is the advancements in optical storage technology. We're getting a lot of technical storage spots. Like I have here, this is terabytes of data. I can store terabytes of data in this little brick. Now imagine what a disc format could be. Who knows how much storage you can fit, but as technology increases, back in the day, you used to have huge buildings, literal sizes of buildings, to only store maybe 1 terabyte, and this is 10 terabytes in this little tiny hard drive. So could you imagine the advancements in disk capabilities if we get a 1 terabyte disk? That would be great. A prime example is the archival disc, a product of Sony and Panasonic's collaboration, which I've recently been hearing a lot about, offering 300 gigabytes of storage with an upward trajectory toward a 1 terabyte disk. That would be crazy. Such advancements highlight the feasibility of high capacity disks capable of storing full resolution 8K content. This would allow for the preservation of pristine image quality and high fidelity audio without the compromises imposed by heavy compression. And then getting into why 8K would even be important, well, if you're a nerd like me, it would be huge, especially if you have especially for those with larger screens. With a resolution of 7680 by 4320 pixels, 8K offers about 4 times that of 4K and 16 times that, right? 16 times, yeah, of 1080p. This extreme clarity is particularly beneficial beneficial for large format displays, including 85-inch televisions, high-end home theater projectors, and massive LED panels. The increased resolution ensures a more immersive experience where viewers can appreciate fine details and even more expansive screens without pixelation. Just imagine 8K detail, all this resolution in a screen, it would make my head explode. Not to mention, with a higher capacity disc, leaves for a better color gamut. An 8K Blu-ray format could support wider color gamuts such as Rec 2020 and high dynamic range formats like Dolby Vision and HDR10 with 12-bit color depth. If this is a possibility, it would obviously have benefits towards having an 8K Blu-ray, allowing for a broader spectrum of colors, deeper blacks, and brighter highlights, leading to a visually striking presentation with smoother tonal transitions for a more true-to-life representation of imagery. Now, one of the main reasons why I would honestly champion for an 8K Blu-ray would be the restoration of film masterpieces. Many classic films shot on 35mm and 70mm film stock contain so much visual detail. I think it's unparalleled. I think it's like 16K, like technically if you took it down to pixelation, which have been getting really fully realized high resolution scanning and restoration processes. Some iconic titles that have undergone and are undergoing 6 or 8K restorations like Lawrence of Arabia, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Blade Runner: The Final Cut, and The Shining all look fantastic and all look amazing on 4K because they have that huge 8K to 6K scan. Now imagine that with a higher capacity disc. That would look crazy. An 8K Blu-ray format would allow for these restorations to be presented in their fullest possible detail, preserving the artistic vision, intricate craftsmanship of the original filmmaker. And high resolution scans ensure that film grain and minute details are maintained, allowing for an authentic cinematic experience. Low resolution formats can obscure these subtle elements, leading to a loss of visual texture. With 8K, the original aesthetic of these films can remain intact, offering audiences a closer representation of how they were meant to be seen. And now another thing I want to talk about is the rise of 6 and 8K filmmaking. So modern cinema cameras are increasingly capable of capturing footage at resolutions of 6K and 8K. While many films are still rendered in 2K due to current processing limitations, there is also an increasing number of movies that are being finished in 4K, signaling a hopeful gradual shift towards higher resolutions. As computational power and rendering efficiency continue to advance, the industry may reach a point where full 8K post-production workflows become more common, making an 8K Blu-ray format maybe a logical next step. And so that's me glazing what would be an 8K presentation. The options would be endless. A lot of films are getting scanned in 8K, and a lot of movies are being finished in 4K, being filmed on 8K, so that it might, we might get a better resolution, we might get extremely immersive content. But then getting into why I believe 8K won't even see the light of day, and that is just, honestly, it's a 4K Blu-ray itself is already a limited consumer market. Now you want to introduce 8K, like within the next couple years, it would be really bad, starting with the TVs, because there's been despite their availability, 8K televisions remain an extremely niche product with low market penetration. The lack of native 8K content also discourages consumers from upgrading, resulting in a feedback loop where low demand leads to limited content production, which in turn further suppresses adoption rates. And to think about it, to really see the effects of 8K when it comes to watching on a television, again, you'd have to watch it on a huge ass goddamn screen, 75, 85, 90-inch TVs. Now, maybe if you have maybe 8K projectors, I can see getting a possibility within the near future. But dude, an 8K television, especially for it to be like a 8K OLED at 85 inches, you know how much that's gonna cost? Like tens of thousands of dollars for a huge 8K OLED. That would be insane. And so when it comes to that comparing to the 4K Blu-ray content, even 4K Blu-ray has struggled to gain mainstream traction, competing against the convenience and affordability of streaming services and DVDs and Blu-rays. Factors such as high disc prices, the cost of compatible players, the shifting consumer habits towards digital media have really hindered physical media sales in general. So the lukewarm reception of 4K Blu-ray would raise immense doubts about the commercial viability of an even more demanding 8K format. Now 4K is getting into the swing of things, but it's been I would say it's been since 2010 or 12, I think they've been really pushing that 4K content. And honestly, now it's getting into the mainstream with YouTube doing 4K content, with a lot of these shows and a lot of sports being showed in 8K. That I can justify. But now I think the NFL and the Super Bowl was done in 8K with HDR, I believe. But again, how many people have 8K televisions? Not even to mention the fact that a lot of producers of like not even screens, but like the producers of players like Sony and Panasonic, all these people are getting out of the 4K player like game, out of the disc player game, now to expect them to just come back into it for 8K. It doesn't really sound logistical and wouldn't really make sense for them as a company, especially because again, sales for players aren't as great as back in the day when people would buy those VHS DVD combo packs or those Blu-ray players, because so many people would play Blu-rays. It's just not there. And then let's talk more about the economical and practical challenges, because like launching an 8K Blu-ray format would require significant investments, again, in research and development, new production lines and updated industry standards. And given the already limited market size that has been rapidly decreasing over the last 15 to 10 years, the return on investment for companies is extremely uncertain, making it an extremely risky endeavor for manufacturers. Now getting into if 8K formats even became a thing, you know how expensive that would be to adopt? When 4K Blu-ray players debuted, they were priced between about $400 to $600, and that's a barrier that slowed early adoption. An 8K Blu-ray player would likely enter the market at an even higher price point, further limiting accessibility. Additionally, the benefits of an 8K resolution are most apparent on extremely large screens, making it a really niche feature that only a small fraction of consumers would truly appreciate. And then also, while 8K provides an on-paper technical improvement, the human eye honestly has limitations in distinguishing detail beyond a certain point, especially with the most people's screens being 50 to 65 inches. You're not gonna see an upgrade, you're not even gonna see a minute upgrade when it comes to that when you're going on such a smaller screen. Many viewers may not even notice any difference between a well-encoded 4K or an 8K content, further weakening the case for the 8K Blu-ray format. If you're expecting people. These companies aren't just going to get into the 8K format because an extreme small niche of film lovers like me would be really into it. They're going to want to make hundreds of millions of dollars on these products. And with the 8K, 8K has been around for I want to say 7 to 8 years now, especially with people making 8K panels and all of these upscaling features and all these kind of things with AI. And a lot of people saying, oh my God, it's so exciting, the future of 8K. But again, that's not going to appease to the normal person. Blu-ray does, and 4K doesn't even reach that barrier. I see quite a few people buying 4Ks who are normies, but that's just because that's the newest thing. A lot of people have PS5s, so they usually play it on their players. But mainly, the main source, 50% of the market sale is DVDs. So to try to push an 8K format would be really not nonsensical, but it just wouldn't really make sense when it comes to a world of capitalism. So I don't know. But in conclusion, while again the technical advancements on paper supporting 8K Blu-ray would be a great thing and it's extremely impressive, the practical and economic challenges make its viability uncertain. Again, with low consumer demand, the high cost of production, and the rise of streaming services, physical media itself faces an uphill battle, unless there's a radical shift in market dynamics or a breakthrough that significantly reduces the cost of 8K or just even 4K adoption. So the prospect of an 8K Blu-ray becoming mainstream format would be nearly impossible, especially with the way physical media, and especially with the physical media market is going. But that was today's video. Yeah, I just wanted to make a little nerdy video because I like really Googling things and researching stuff for topics of video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Just a little me talking about nerdy stuff when it comes to visual fidelity and audio fidelity. Didn't really talk too much about the audio aspect of it, just because I feel like we've reached a point where 4K with the adoption of Dolby Atmos has really, I guess, not peaked, but it's so good. How much more better can you get? And I feel like that need for that upgrade isn't there as compared to from 1080p to 4K content. Even when you watch, because that 4K additive makes the compression a bit more presentable. I see a lot of people who still film in 1080p content, and a lot of their videos look really soft. I remember I used to watch Chris Stuckman a lot, and he films on a really nice camera, but he renders down to 1080p, and you can really tell because the video, like the visual quality isn't as good. But I film in 4K. I see a lot of people who also film in 4K, especially on dedicated like mirrorless cameras like these ones, like $3,000 cameras. You can really tell the difference. And so 1080p to 4K was a real no-brainer, but 4K to 8K is an extremely minute increase in quality when it comes to the fact that if you're not presenting it in a huge, like when I'm talking about huge, like I thought 65 inches was a huge screen, and it is a pretty big screen. I'm talking like huge, like 85, 100-inch TVs, and realistically, who the fuck is gonna, but realistically, not many people are going to be spending that much moolah on a huge 8K screen to rebuy movies. Not even to mention the fact that we haven't even gotten every movie from DVD to Blu-ray, let alone Blu-ray to 4K, and now talking about 4K to 8K, we haven't been seeing that. I just wanted to talk about it because I've been seeing a lot of scans. 7 got an 8K scan. Imagine if we got a full uncompressed image quality. But again, with things like AI, with things like DNR, with things like encoding issues and that kind of thing, for me to justify an 8K upgrade would be almost nearly impossible, especially with, the screens that we have today. So that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know down below, do you guys think there will ever be an 8K Blu-ray? Because I know I've always kind of shunned the idea, like there'll never be a thing. But I'm hearing a lot of people saying, oh, just wait for the 8K, or like, oh, people who are just investing in 4K are going to be shitting their bricks when the 8K format comes out. Everyone's going to be buying those. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. So anyways, that was today's video. Again, I have been Mason from the Mockbuster YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed it. And please have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. If you're on the upper of the equator, I'm not too sure. I'm not really good on geography, but it's been snowing a lot. It's been storming a lot. So please stay safe. Please be warm, and God bless. Peace, cheers, and long live physical media. See you guys.